If this is you, sitting there, phone dark in your hand, staring at her laugh in someone else's story, wondering how she can smile like that when you're still not over it. Maybe this hits closer than you expected. The nights you replay every word she ever said. The ones you wish you hadn't. The ones you wish you had. You remember the first time she laughed at something stupid you said, the way her nose scrunched, and it made your chest feel like it could burst. And now someone else gets that laugh. Someone else gets the little corners of her world you thought only you had a key to. And it bothers you more than you want to admit. You pretend it doesn't. You tell yourself you're fine. But alone at 3 a.m., when the apartment is quiet and the hum of the fridge feels like a judgment, it's sharp. Pinches. You think about the silence between you two. How you could have said something, how you didn't. And maybe that silence still has power. You notice her new pictures, not because you want to, but because somehow you have to. The way she tilts her head, the small smirk, the light in her eyes. And it makes your stomach twist more than jealousy, something heavier. Regret. The part that whispers, what if you hadn't let her go? What if you just said it differently? Shown up, stayed quiet for the right reason, not the wrong one. There are mornings you wake up with the echo of her voice. You tell yourself it's nothing, just memory. But it isn't nothing. It's the little things. The way she used to fold her hair behind her ear. The song she hummed in the shower. The way she liked coffee just a little too bitter. You miss the mundane. You miss the moments you didn't even know were moments. And you think you've moved on. You tell yourself she's just a chapter. But then you catch yourself mid-thought, imagining her smile landing on someone else's arm. And it stings, because deep down, you know that silence yours, the one you thought was harmless, it's still talking, still reaching her, still part of the story she's living without you. You scroll, you check, you hesitate, you tell yourself, don't care, don't care, don't care. But the truth is, your quiet left cracks. Cracks big enough for her to wonder. Cracks that never really healed. And maybe that's why it bothers her. Not just because you're gone. Not just because she's with someone new. But because the silence you left behind, it's alive. And she feels it. So here's the question, one you might not have asked yourself yet. One that's sharp enough to wake you up in the middle of the night. If your silence still reaches her heart, why does it hurt you more than it hurts her? Most guys think it's about winning her back, about chasing, about proving something. That's the first mistake. That's the one that keeps you awake at night, grinding your teeth over her laughing at someone else's joke, posting pictures you aren't supposed to care about. But here's the thing, she's not thinking about your proof, not like you imagine. She's thinking about what she feels when she notices you're not reacting the way she expected. That's the quiet power you didn't see. I remember sitting on the porch one night, beer sweating in my hand, watching an old friend scroll through his phone like it was a crystal ball. He kept refreshing, checking, waiting. He kept talking about her, how she was with someone else now. And I didn't say much, I just watched. He was mad at her, mad at himself. But mostly he was mad at the noise in his own head. You've been there. You know that voice that won't shut up, the one that keeps repeating every what if you've ever made. Here's the truth most men miss. She notices absence differently than presence. She notices calm. She notices steady. Not the frantic, panic messages. Not the sudden declarations. It's not a test. It's a mirror. And right now, your silence, if it's done right, says more than your words ever could. It's not about ignoring her. It's about showing her, without speaking, that you're not desperate, that you're not lost, that you have life outside her life. Think about the mornings when she expected you to text and you didn't. That moment she felt the gap. That microsecond when she realized maybe you're not just a voice she can pull on whenever. That moment hurts her more than your anger ever could. And yes, it stings. Because men mistake her reaction for rejection when it's actually reflection. She's seeing you without the weight of expectation. That's powerful. That's masculine in a way most guys never understand. You've been taught that attention is love, that action equals affection. That if she moves on, you failed. Let that go. Let's strip it down. Your worth isn't in her orbit. You're not a prize to be won back. You're a man who holds space for himself. That's the principle most guys overlook. Presence over pressure, steadiness over panic. A man's confidence doesn't shout, it whispers. And sometimes it's silence that speaks the loudest. I remember my cousin, same situation. She started dating someone else. He wanted to text to prove, to fix it. I told him sit, let the quiet do the work. And slowly she noticed him again, not because he chased, but because he had gone quiet, not absent, calm, focused. The difference is subtle, almost invisible. But it's there. She felt it. And in that feeling, she remembered him differently. Not the same as before. Better, somehow. So when you're thinking about her new relationship, about the photos, about the laughs you don't hear, remember this. It's not about her leaving you. It's about you not losing yourself in the noise. The masculine principle here is simple. You own your center. Your calm is your presence. Your silence, if wielded right, is not absence. It's authority. And the last thing most men forget, flaws included, is that patience is brutal. You will sit with your thoughts. You will wrestle with jealousy and regret and pride. You will feel the sting and the ache. But that's the point. That's the test, not for her. For you. Can you stand still and quiet while the world around you moves? Can you hold yourself steady when she doesn't reach for you? That's where the power lies. This isn't a story about chasing her back. It's about being the man who, even when she's with someone else, doesn't lose himself. And in that, she notices. She always notices the apartment is quiet, too quiet. The kind of quiet that presses against your ears, like it's trying to make you hear something you don't want to. Your phone buzzes, not her, not her. You set it down. The hum of the fridge is louder than her laugh in your memory. You can feel it in your chest, the memory, sharp, sudden. You think about the first time she touched your hand, how it lingered longer than necessary, how your thumb brushed hers and it felt like a secret, the kind that makes you want to remember it forever, but you don't. Because forever is not a thing that happens. You never knew it would end. The sound of her voice, laughing in a video someone else took, makes your stomach twist. It's small, almost nothing, and yet it lands. You hate yourself for noticing, and then you do it again. You scroll just a little. The cafe she's in, the sunlight through the window catching her hair. You know she doesn't see you looking, but she could. Somewhere. Maybe she knows. Maybe she feels it. The clock ticks. You hear it. Every second dragging, heavy, like it knows your chest is tight. You remember her smile at something silly you said that morning you were late. The way she tilted her head just a little. The warmth of her coat when she leaned past you on the subway. You remember it too vividly. It hurts. Because someone else is living that now. Maybe they're clumsy, maybe they don't notice. And you remember, you run a hand over your face. The room is cold, but your skin is hot. You taste the coffee you made this morning and didn't drink. Bitter, thin. You think about what you would say if she were here. You'd apologize. You'd explain, you'd tell her the small things. But you don't. You don't say it, because saying it would change the quiet that's holding her attention without words. Somewhere inside you, a voice whispers, why doesn't she call? Why doesn't she notice? But the louder voice, calmer, steadier, answers, she notices more than you know. She always notices, and you fight with it. Fight with yourself. Fight with the memories that pop up at the worst times. The smell of her shampoo, the way she chewed her lip when she thought you weren't looking. You sit on the edge of the bed, knees to chest, and it's messy. It's not neat, not clean. It's real. You think about what she's feeling, what she's seeing. Maybe she wonders if you're okay. Maybe she wonders if you even remember. Maybe she feels a pinch when she thinks of you. You wish she did. You wish she knew. You wish she knew. But you stay quiet. Because that's the point. Your silence is heavier than any word. And then you stop. You let the hum of the fridge, the thin light through the blinds, the cold and the warmth together settle. You let the memory of her fade just a little. You let yourself breathe. You realize that she's not upset because she left. She's unsettled because your quiet still reaches her. Because somewhere in the distance, Between her smile and someone else's hands, she feels you. Not your words, not your chase, you. And in that feeling, messy, complicated, undeniable, there's power, there's presence. There's something no new relationship can replace. Something only your silence can give. Most guys think this is about chasing her back. That if she's with someone new, it's a failure on your part. That if she laughs at his jokes, it means you weren't enough. But here's the thing, she didn't ghost you. You disappeared from yourself. I've seen it. Sitting on a porch, beer sweating in my hand, listening to a friend spiral over the woman he loved, wondering why she didn't call. He was doing everything except being present for himself. That's the quiet killer, not her. Another belief is that silence equals weakness. That if you don't text, don't chase, don't react, you're losing. That's backwards. One time I watched a cousin wrestle with this. She moved on fast. He wanted to fix it every second. He thought the quiet was losing ground. But what he didn't realize, she notices absence differently than attention. You don't lose her. You lose your own presence. He had to sit with himself, messy, restless human. And in that space, his calm, his realness reached her in ways words never could. A third belief is that attention is everything. That showing up constantly is proof of love. That missing out on her life, even for a moment, is losing. But attention is cheap. Respect is priceless. I remember watching a friend scroll through her photos late at night, stomach twisting, heart racing. He wanted to comment, to react, to be there. I just said, sit, let it be. The next week, she reached out, not because he chased, but because he had stopped being a mirror of need. He had started being a man grounded in himself. Most men don't get it because they equate action with affection. They think moving, speaking, reacting is power. But real influence, the kind that leaves a mark, lives in stillness, in presence, in a silence that's not absence but authority. It's subtle, barely seen, hard to trust, but it works. So when you feel the pull to prove, to act, to fill the void, you're not failing, you're being tested by yourself, by the habit of your own mind, by the false beliefs that whisper, if she's with him, you lost. The truth is, she notices you when you notice yourself. She notices when you stop chasing shadows and stand in your own light. She didn't leave you. You weren't paying attention to yourself. And that's the quiet thing that bothers her. Not because she misses you, exactly. Because your silence, your calm, steady presence was never fully there before. And now it is, even from afar. It's uneven, it's messy, but it lands. It changes the story, not hers, not anyone else's, but yours. And in that, she feels it. Always. This is what he understands. Most men panic when she's with someone else. They scroll. They text. They overthink every little detail, every laugh she posts, every story she shares. They confuse noise with action. They confuse reaction with power, not him. He sits with it, quiet, not absent, just steady. This is how he leads, with presence, not pressure. He doesn't flood her with words or try to fix what's already out of his hands. He moves through his day knowing the world doesn't end because she smiled somewhere else. He eats his breakfast. He goes to the gym. He feels the sun on his skin. He notices life. And in noticing life, he notices himself. That awareness, that calm center, is magnetic in a way most men will never understand. He remembers the nights he almost called, almost sent something impulsive. He felt it in his chest, the urge, the ache. But he chose patience over panic, strength over noise. He went for a long walk instead, cold air hitting his face, hands in pockets, thinking about work, thinking about the friends he'd ignored, thinking about the life he'd been letting slip past him while he spun in her orbit. That's how he wins. Not with texts, not with chasing, but with the quiet reclamation of himself. This is what he understands. She notices more than you think. She notices the way he doesn't crumble when she's gone, the way he doesn't chase every story, every photo, every new laugh, the way he carries his day without letting her absence poison it. That steadiness, messy, human, imperfect, is louder than any words. He's made mistakes before, texted too much, waited too long, said things he shouldn't have. But he's learned that presence is stronger than ego. That patience isn't weakness. That a man who centers himself in the middle of chaos doesn't just survive, he thrives. He doesn't measure himself by her attention. He measures himself by his clarity, by how he handles the pull in his chest, by whether he can sit still while the world around him moves. This is how he leads with presence, not pressure. He lets her be with someone else. Not because he doesn't care, because he does, deeply. But because he knows that trying to force her back, trying to manufacture her attention, is poison. It weakens him. Her silence, her new life, becomes a mirror showing him where he's still restless, where he still bends to need, where he still chases the wrong things. He looks at it, accepts it, and strengthens. He understands timing, not the clock's timing, not hers, his own. He knows when to act and when to let the moment teach him. He doesn't rush. He doesn't panic. He lets her see the man he is, not the man she wants him to be. And she notices. She always notices. Not the noise, the quiet, the steadiness, the clarity that says, I am here. I am myself. I am not chasing you. I am leading me. This is what most men overlook, that the real power isn't in controlling her, influencing her, winning her back. It's in controlling himself, in showing up fully for his life, even when she's elsewhere, even when it hurts, even when it stings. The 1% headman doesn't react to her story. He tells his own. He builds his world. He lives in it. And the quiet, steady force of that life, grounded, human, raw, is what lingers. That's what she feels. That's what bothers her. Not because he's gone, because he's alive, fully. He's sitting on the edge of the bed, hands tangled in the sheets, phone dark beside him. The room smells like yesterday's coffee and regret. A memory flickers, her laugh, the tilt of her head, the way her fingers brushed his in the subway, sharp, electric, and suddenly heavy. He exhales, hard, shakes his head. No, not this time. Not for her. Not for anyone. The ache in his chest is real. The pull to text, to explain, to chase. He lets it sit, feels it, names it. I am not lost in her story, whispered to himself. Small, fragile, the sun hits the window just right. Warm on his skin, a laugh from the street below. Ordinary, beautiful, he notices. Breath slows. Thoughts drift, snap back. The pull is gone, or at least weaker. He smiles. Not at her, not at anyone, at himself. I am enough. I am steady. I am here. The phone stays dark. The bed doesn't swallow him. And for the first time in weeks, he feels solid, grounded, whole. The weight drops quietly, fiercely. Finally, he is his own. The night hums, fridge buzz, street lights cutting through blinds. You feel the pull, her laugh, her light, someone else's hand where yours used to be. And you sit, breath jagged, heart loud, memory biting, regret whispering, but you don't move. Don't text. Don't chase. You just are. Cold floor under your feet, coffee gone bitter in the cup. Silence thick, almost alive. And in that quiet she notices. Not the noise, not the reach, the stillness, the man who stands even when it stings. You don't need her to see it. She does anyway. And you finally know your absence isn't emptiness. It's the weight of a man who will not be diminished. She feels it. Always.